Call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry about that. My sister's decided to fly in for a visit. Oh God, I have to get ready. Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
호호호호. 나를 불러? 정초점.
The next day, I'd promised Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready for her sister's arrival. I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently, another guest had asked for me by name. Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked.
Are you here about the camera? It's about time.
The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix things. I'd usually go to an expert, of course, but in this town...
언니구나.
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have been more different. Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera. Any professional photographer's dream.
The viewfinder is completely dark. I can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong.
역시 카메라라서 나사가 많네. 돌리는 거 어디 있지?
I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
If I used the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the mirror. Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working.
좋아, 좋아. 네. 완벽 그 자체. 카메라.
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my disposable to shame.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a 1958 limited edition.
1958년
The first of its kind.
Wow.
It cost me 3 months' salary. But it was worth it.
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was more than I could afford.
하하하.
It was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but surely she could afford somewhere better? She took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing. Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it's not a total waste of time.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
렌즈를 통해 본사. 어둠 속에서.
The sun was setting over Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's cafe. From the outside, it looked as quiet as ever, but inside, I found Carmen cleaning like her life depended on it.
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of dust in here, I'll never hear the end of it.
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her mop. Trying to live up to the standards of someone like Helena seemed like an impossible task.
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't lend me the money, I don't know how long I can keep this place going.
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign.
I had this made when I first opened the cafe, but I'm hopeless with electronics.
절망적이다.
So there was supposed to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack of customers.
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it a try?
해줍시다. 나도 이런 전기는 모르는데. 아하, 이거 D로 해서 하는 거구나. 여기서 이렇게. 오케이. 오케이, 예스. 아니야, 아니야. 아니야. 이걸 어디다 달아? 아, 이걸 이쪽에 하고. 이건 뭐지? 어디? 아, 오케이, 오케이.
I think the whole thing is supposed to light up.
좋아, 좋아, 좋아.
I don't know, it's a bit flat. Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
네?
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
번역이 묻혔나봐. 얘 대사가 한 번 안 들렸다. 아이고. 전주 끊어서
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
네? 아까 보니까 아이스크림이었어. 좋다 좋다.
It works! I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set.
컷. 레온 사이 완료.
The sign fixed, we headed outside and mounted it carefully over the cafe door.
That's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all seemed so simple. Oh, I can't believe I might have to give it all up. I hope I've done enough.
The smile froze on her face as she spotted something over my shoulder. I turned to see.
왔구만.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town that isn't actually open.
For better or worse, Helena had arrived.
불행인지 다행인지.
Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently past her.
아이고.
Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen.
The first thing we're doing is getting rid of that hideous sign.
아이고.
And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of saving the cafe hadn't disappeared with her.
모든 것이 빛나고 있다. 게임기? 단순한데.
It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. When Joseph called with another job, I was craving the cool quiet of his and Izzy's seafront house. I barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me.
Psst, Maria, I need your help. Quickly, it's top secret.
It was Izzy, peeking out from the side of the house. She beckoned for me to follow her. She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden overflowing with flowers of every color. Nestled among them was a playhouse, its doorway almost completely obscured by a towering rose bush.
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
Izzy took in a big gulp of air and crawled through the gap and into the playhouse. I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt today, but the life of a repairwoman never did run smooth.
순탄치 않구만.
On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my parents' antique shop.
I had an accident. I didn't do it on purpose or anything, but it won't turn on anymore. Can you fix it for me?
뭐건? 아, 판이 깨졌네. A 버튼하고.
Why does it sound so scary? It wasn't like that
소리도
before.
망가졌나 보네. 오케이. 아하. 뭐야 이게 그게 아니었어? 라고. 허허. 잠깐만요. 이거를 여기다가 이 판을 어떻게 꺼낼고 여기 이걸 이걸 교체해줘야 되네. 난 유리판만 떼면 될 줄 알았는데 아니었구만.
Do grown-ups play games as well?
당연하지.
Can you show me how to play? I tried before, but it was so hard.
게임 안에 게임이다. 게임 콘솔.
Her toy fixed, I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a 3-inch world of her own. Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for me.
Please don't tell him about the game. He'll think I broke it on purpose.
Why would he think that?
Because, well, I kind of dropped it really hard at the wall.
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes on the worn floor of the playhouse.
My dad said I have to go to this stupid festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress, and I don't want to. All he cares about is working. He never wants to see me unless it's for his job. I'm not going. He can't make me.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the wilds of the garden. She was so young. She couldn't be expected to see that her dad was struggling too. It made me think, had I really tried hard enough to understand my parents' point of view?
물음을 주는군요.
I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Maybe I didn't care enough about leaving them behind.
게임 오버. 시계. 찰나의 순간.
Leaving Izzy hiding in the garden, I walked around to the front of the house and rang the doorbell. It was only then I noticed my favorite overalls covered in grass stains. I scrubbed desperately, but it was too late.
걸렸구만 이게.
Maria, what are you doing? What happened to your clothes?
I was repairing a lawnmower.
How unusual. Well,
어떻게든
do come in. The job I've got for...
Totally embarrassed, I walked into an orderly room filled with
빨리
papers and ledgers. So this was his office. You must be so busy getting ready for the festival. Are you looking forward to it?
Of course. It's traditional for the mayor to judge food from every cafe and restaurant in town. I'll be declaring the best chef in Bella Riva by this time tomorrow. Speaking of which...
He unclipped the watch from his wrist and very carefully handed it to me.
I'll have a tight schedule to follow, but my watch stopped working a while ago. Could you see if you can make it tick again?
시계 어려울지도.
Are you sure it will all fit back together?
그럼요. 아마요? 시계가 참 어려운데.
Ah, the main plate has completely cracked. I'll need to replace it. The cogs
있어?
look good though. If I'm careful, I can reuse those.
안 움직이는데? 이게 맞아? 여기 반대편 안 움직여서 이게 맞나 싶은데. 그치. 다시 돌려.
I've not gone a day without this watch since my wife gave it to me.
그렇군요. 그런 소중한. 돌아간다. 너무 빨랐어. 좋아요.
As I handed the watch back to Joseph, my fingers traced over the engraving on the back. I hoped fixing this was one small way I could help him move forward.
I can't believe it's working, Maria. Thank you. My wife was a brilliant woman. Feeling this ticking on my wrist, it makes me feel like she's still here. Watches measure minutes and hours like they're infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. Even with Isabel, I barely see her. And when I do, she acts like she hates me.
Just then, the phone rang. Even when he was at home, his work was never done.
Sorry, Maria. I have to take this. I'll see you at...
As I left, I turned and saw him pacing the floor of his office, his watch glinting in the afternoon sun. I hoped its quiet ticking would at least bring him some peace during the busy days to come.
시간의 흐름 속의 치유.
When my last job of the day brought me to Carmen's apartment, the door was opened by someone I didn't expect to see, Helena.
Sorry for inflicting this mess on you. Carmen's never seen a knick-knack she doesn't want to buy, apparently.
Carmen's apartment was a little chaotic, but totally charming. It was easy to imagine her living in a place like this. It definitely wasn't Helena's style. She seemed more upmarket than flea market. I wondered why she was even here.
We're having a clear-out, or at least I am. Carmen's not helping, as usual. There's a market at the festival tomorrow. I'm selling some of these things to make her some money. She says she has nothing when there's all this stuff right under her nose.
Helena stepped delicately past the items on the floor and reached down to pick up one from the pile.
Look at this slide projector. Our parents treasured it, but Carmen treats it like a piece of junk. Can you take a look?
아이고, 부모님께서 소중한 물건.
That light bulb is completely smashed. Okay, I'll need to redirect the light to the lens at the top for the projector to work.